Romex in a raceway, the issue that will not die. I know for most guys this is a settled debate, but I still get the comments daily and the questions daily, so I'm making a response video. Let's start with the Romex article itself, 334.15, exposed work. We got A, B, let's see what C says. All right, here we go. Here is C, the rules for running Romex in an unfinished basement or crawl space. And one of the options you have to protect the wire is non-metallic sheath cable installed on a wall of an unfinished basement shall be permitted to be installed in a listed conduit or tubing. And as you continue down, it tells you the rules of how that gets installed in the conduit and tubing. And the most important one that people tend to mess up the most is right here by this arrow, the sheath of the non-metallic sheath cable shall extend through the conduit and into the outlet box up to 1/4 inch. Do not strip it before you put it in the conduit. And if I could scroll, I don't know how to do that. Right below that is when it talks about you have to have a clamp on the end of the pipe. You can't just leave it into the pipe. You need a changeover connector with a clamp. Yeah, don't strip your Romex. There's a whole bunch of reasons we can't strip the Romex. This doesn't tell you why. This just tells you don't. One of the code violations you create when stripping Romex is you violate this code rule, 310.8. It requires all the conductors and cables to be marked with this information, 1, 3, 4, or 5. And when you have a roll of THHN, this information is marked on the conductor itself. With Romex or an NM cable, all that information is written on the outer jacket. It is not labeled on the conductors inside the Romex. So when you remove the outer jacket, you violate this rule because you've removed the labeling. And here's another time. This one is a time when the code requires Romex to be in a conduit. You can't tell me there's times when Romex is required to be in a conduit and then tell me it's not allowed in a conduit. But use is permitted. Here's the times you're allowed to use Romex. 1, 2, 3. Let's go see what 5 says. 5 says Romex is permitted in type 1 and 2 construction when installed in a raceway. To be used in type 1 and 2 construction, Romex must be installed in a raceway. So directly in the Romex articles under use is permitted, it tells you you have to put it in a raceway in certain situations. So you cannot tell me it's not allowed in the raceway. So put it in the raceway as long as it's in a dry location and stop stripping it. But if it's wet outside the conduit, the code says it's wet inside the conduit. So you can't install it in wet locations. As long as it's in a dry location, you're good if you don't strip it and you pay attention to the fill rules. All right, thank you very much.